This week we have a little bit different of a video. I have a full course video coming out at the Academy. It's about a 3-hour mix from start to finish. And this is just a little clip of that. And it gives you a little bit of a trick to hold you over. If you guys feel like going and seeing the full course, please go visit the link below and enjoy. Have fun.
Hello! Marc Daniel Nelson here with MakeMineMusic. I have a little trick I want to share today. Pretty short and sweet. So sometimes in production, we like to augment or add certain elements. This happens with drums. This happens with any kind of element that is not sticking through. When you're a mixer and you get tracks that your hands are tied, you have to be a little creative with what you do. Sometimes it's processing with analog gear. Sometimes it's tape. Sometimes it's triggers. And sometimes it's replacing or augmenting with a similar sound. So today's little trick is about getting the bottom octave out of a bass guitar if it's not there. If you try to use an octavize system or some kind of harmonic R bass, that's not necessarily what I'm trying to go for. I'm talking about the bottom air that you get from synths and anything that has a beautiful, beautiful low end sound. On this track, there is a lot of upper register bass on the intro and the choruses. So there's really not a lot of foundation air. So what I do is, of course, asking the permission of the artist to make sure it's okay. But like I like to do is to transfer the audio to MIDI, the bass guitar, find a nice filter synth sound that's low bass, and tuck that underneath. Just do the solid whole notes of the bass octave down, and then mix that underneath. And it should, in theory, just add a little bit more weight and a little more bottom octave. And I'll show you how to do that here. Right now, we'll just have it as a standard instrument track. And then I will right-click the audio of the bass guitar, copy it as audio to MIDI, and there's a bunch of different algorithm settings you have to go through. Polyphonic decay is probably going to be the best for this choice. It'll process through it, and then we paste it into the instrument track. And it's there. So what we're going to need to do, though, is considering if we just listen to the bass, he's playing multiple notes. Okay, so a lot of that is, I don't need to hear anything but the fundamental of the bottom end of the note. After your audio is transferred to MIDI, pull up some sort of synthesizer that you're happy with the low end of. I like to use the FabFilter 1 as it has a really good kind of sub harmonic air synth in there, and it's usually comes with the bundle for FabFilter, so a lot of people actually have it. Once you get into it, you hit Control equals, and this will open up your MIDI template. And all I really want to do is not grab any of the very busy bass stuff. If you see, I don't need all that stuff. So if I just grab this into the next chart, I create the bass track based around the part itself of the bottom octave. And this will allow me to get a really, really clean low end. That I can tuck underneath the actual bass guitar. So let me edit this really fast and come up with something, and then we can look at it when it's done. All right, so now that we have the MIDI edited down to the way the part I want, I'm going to only use the intro, the verses, and the choruses for this, because this will be able to take it up, and then it'll drop down for the verses, and then the choruses will take it up again, and we have to tuck it in for our taste. But before we do that, let's just listen to the part I put in there. Now, after we do that, I want to combine the bass and the synth together. Remember, the bass is on its own going through the effects bus, clean with no reverb or anything. And the bass DI, which is the bass guitar, is going through the normal bass bus. So combined with the whole track sounds something like this. And then out. Then back in with the synth bass. Now, here it falls out because the verse is going and it brings everything down. I'm going to do some automation where it will create a lot of movement here.
I'm just a little bit empty. I'm just a little bit scared is all, and I'm hiding out in the doorway. Somebody bring me inside.
Comes right back in for the... Pretty much it for this trick. Pretty simple. If you know how to use MIDI and such, you can pretty much do anything when you're trying to get something back. This was a really cool thing to get that bottom octave in out of the bass, because the bass part itself was really good. It just didn't have that bottom octave. So within reason, we'll tuck it underneath, probably bring it down a tad bit more, but in general, that's pretty much it. So have fun mixing and see you later. Hi guys, Marc Daniel Nelson here today to break down a track from scratch.
Somebody bring me inside. Yeah, yeah.
Today I want to mix a song by the artist Brendon Bartee called Right Where You Want Me. Been asked to not spare any expense of time. In my template, I always have a ref track ready to go, so I'll just pop that guy in there. I know a lot of people don't like to use templates and stuff. The reason I use it is because I have a lot in it, and it lets me spend more time on the things I like to do. I create the bass track based around the part itself of the bottom octave. And this will allow me to get a really, really clean low end. It's just a super dense 8-second suspension reverb, basically. I call it my C change, Beck C change reverb. Automation for me is mainly just for movement. It's not necessarily to fix terrible amount of things. I can do that with clip gain. Oh, this sounds really good. Now through the chain, the analog chain, same spot.
Keep the train on the tracks while we're